Brothers and sisters, I have been detained by the Spirit of truth because of the current situation that is going on in the world today. He was teaching me about these things that are happening and what to say about them. You see, I went on and on to tell you, because all of you know who I am. You know that I am Elijah the prophet. You know that I am the Archangel Michael. You know that I am the Lion of Judah. You know that I am all this, and I am the Son of God. And will, his will shall be done. All of his prophecies shall be fulfilled, no matter what anyone says or does. Despite this, this new, the Trump King Donald Trump in his arsenal as he grows in the United States and causes great havoc among the people and causing a little bit of civil unrest with his dreadful laws. You see, the Lord is against such people. These people who do great evil on Satan's behalf and cause problems for others that don't care about the young, don't care about the innocent, don't care about the pure, don't care about anyone but themselves, and have the nerve to boast about wealth and about power. Such people God do not love. Such people are devils. They work against the host of righteousness and against the host of truth. You see, God has a plan, already planned for these people, for they are destined for the lake of fire. And they think that God don't exist, that God's hand is not at work. They think that his plans will not come forth. You see, long ago I remember, as I can recall, what Satan had done to me. Every time I would say something, I would prophesy and I would say something about something was going to occur, he would go and cause some kind of way, he would cause it not to, in order to stall. He would cause it a stall, and people would say that I was lying. And because people would say I was lying, an evil king rose himself up thinking that he can plot against me and kill me and put an end to me. But the Lord hid me down into a ravine, and there I was fed by crows, ravens, that plucked the meat off of a goat that was being salted down and bathed by the sun. And I remember those years just like they were yesterday because those was in ancient times when I was back there in ancient times. I'll tell you no lie. Those are the times when my life was more, I feel like it was more miserable. But in these hours, in those days, my powers were strong because times was awful. And just in these times, time will be far more awful. And I was able to bring fire upon my enemies. I was able to whisper to the wind and cause problems to come to those that were against me and try to harm me. Even in these days, I'm able to put an end to those that bring hostility against me. I can recall when a cop was trying to take my life and uh, for no apparent reason at all, in which God had gave me the strength to cause this cop to become sick and to cause problems to come upon those my enemy who want to see me dead for no reason at all. You see, God sees and hears all things. You cannot say that God don't exist. He made me aware that he did exist even when I was a child because when I re-entered this world again, reincarnated as a man, the devil blinded my eyesight to not be able to see. Yeah, it blinded me to not be able to see who I was. And at that time when I was blinded, I couldn't tell nothing. So the Lord had to recondition me again to show me all over again that he was with me and who I was. Every time somebody tried to hurt me, the Lord would destroy them. A bus ran over me when I was a child about 15 years old, and I could have sworn my legs would, if an angel had not came over me at that time, I would not have gotten up off the ground because it ran over my waistline. And the woman that was driving the bus stopped a couple of yards up and was looking out the side window at me laying on the ground, and she saw me getting up. My bicycle was in a total wreck. It was towed up completely. I had slid underneath the bus on my bike. You see, God protected me. He made me to understand who I was. I hate to tell you this over and over on a video because you should already know these things that God protects me. But I want to relate this to you to let you know that I'm not afraid of mankind. And you shouldn't be afraid of mankind either. If you learn to fast and weep, you cry out to God in humbleness, He will protect you. And this is the thing that He wanted me to share with you, the knowledge He wanted me to share with you. And so that you will be open, your mind will be open to the truth, and that you will not be deceived and alone. You see, there comes a time in these days when people will constantly do all sorts of bad things. I told you before in other videos to Mr. Trump and all the other heathens that want to destroy the fabric of life, cut off aid to innocent children, to nations that's already starving half to death. You want to wipe them out of existence because the only thing you care about is wealth. Those people that God will destroy them. They have no boundaries and they will not stand forever. Believe me, when God gets finished with him, he will not even be able to breathe. I mean, God will tear his body to pieces. He will allow the angel of death to rip him apart. And even afterwards, he will throw him into the fire. But see, that day of judgment is coming. Everyone will be judged for their crimes and their actions and their sin. Because they don't realize that God is watching everything that they do. That's why if you read in the Kings and ancient about the ancient kings, it will say what king that did right upon the face of the earth, that did right before God in the heavens above. Some kings did not do right before God in the heavens above. They did not do right. And you think that you're hidden when you go in the inner room and do such vile stuff. When you go in the inner room and do nasty stuff with other people, with yourself, then God still sees you. It's not hidden from God. Remember, there are spirits everywhere. And when Satan sees you, he mess with your spirit. He bringing spirits upon you to cause you sickness and conflict. Remember, there are spirits everywhere. So you're not hiding. Whatever you do, your sin is still going to be exposed before God because there are spirits everywhere. The Spirit of God is everywhere. Don't you know that if you're alive, there's a spirit inside of your body? Not a dead man. If he's dead, there's no spirit in his body. There's only an empty body there. There's nothing inside of the host. He has to have a spirit inside of him. You see, in time, Satan himself will be able to manipulate and put bad spirits inside of people. You might know he might take a dog spirit. He could take a dog spirit and cause it come. The false prophet would be able to do it. Not Satan, but the false prophet. Satan rules demons, but the false prophet is more powerful than he is. He can take his staff and cause evil spirits, dog spirits, to go inside of a dead body of a man. And this here, cause this spirit, the dead dog spirit, a live dog spirit to go inside that man's body, dog walking upright just like a man, and doing so much evil. You see, this is what the kind of crap, the kind of mess that's gonna go on in the end. I mean, in the days of wrath. This is because people believe so much in lies that God will allow these lies to attack them. He will allow them to be fooled. He will allow them to be the lies to come true to their eyes. Whatever they manipulated by, he will allow them to let it overcome them because they believe in that. They believe in that. They don't believe in God. A man asked me a few weeks ago, Which of them are giving you tribute? Why do you put videos out? Who giving you tribute? Anybody giving you any type of money, any contribution? I said, no. Nobody give me nothing. I've never in my life received contributions from anybody. No donations from people. People don't give me donations because they think I'm bad. I've never been bad. But I do cry out to God and I give my sacrifice offering to God. I said in poverty. God didn't choose a man out of wealth because he know that man have never suffered before. A man in wealth have not known suffering. He have known unbearable suffering. If you know unbearable suffering and pain and misery, then you wouldn't treat anybody else horribly. If you've been through such sadness and misery and people treated you, so many people treated you with respect when you was out there laying on the street, somebody came and fed you. When you needed something, some clothes to wear, somebody gave you clothes. I wasn't ashamed to accept clothing. I wasn't ashamed to accept food. But see, I had never been donated with money. That's what I was talking about. I've never been given contributions of money like some ministers had. I knew once when I was in this church before ordination, this minister was received this huge large sum of money from these people. They gave him a gigantic large sum of money. I'm talking about like something almost close to $1 million. Or well, to me it was a huge sum of money because it was exactly precisely at $1 million. This man was given $1 million, and then he was given another $3 million. I mean $8 million precisely. And once he was given all this money, he gave his church away. And all those members was really mad because he gave the church to a Hispanic minister across the street. A huge church that those people helped him to get built. They put in money, all those people just gave money to him, donated money to him to help them build a church. When he got, and then when somebody came in well and donated him a lot of money, he gave the church away. Just give the church away. He didn't stay with his congregation. You see, that's how wretched people are. Instead of continuing to be a minister and speaking of God's word, he wanted to go and buy him a restaurant and lay around with bad women. He wanted to do other things with his life. He didn't want to do that, preach the gospel. You see, that's why it is said, many come, but few is chosen. Because not a lot of ministers are real chosen ministers. They don't come and it's not really preaching the gospel. They're still doing wrong behind the pulpit. They're still doing wrong. They're wolf in sheep clothing. They're hiding their acts of filth, which is why the high priest would take the church over. And the deacons and the ministers always are fighting most of the time over money in the church. They don't know how to help the poor of the church with the money that they do get. If they get money into their churches and their tithes, they won't help those poor people with the give people money to once you pay for the church, you have I said this before, once you pay the church bills, all the church bills, the money should be cut down to help people to pay like their electricity bill and their phone bill, their doctor bill or whatever. This is to help your congregation not to be greedy about it. And even if you take a small cut yourself, it's okay. But don't be greedy about it. Help the congregation. You gotta help the congregation out. But they don't want to do it, see. They want to help themselves more. The ministers think about live out the church. No, he's not supposed to live out the church. He's supposed to work. Get out there and work by your the sweat of your own brow. The church belongs to God. It is His house. It's for you to save souls. When those people come in, you should preach to them and teach them the gospel so that they may be saved from sin, from being misled and misguided. But a lot of ministers are not teaching. They're doing more filth than they are teaching in these days. It is why God wants to change the church to the church of the saints of the Most High, and not allow these ministers and these deacons to run the church any longer, because they are treacherous and they're wretched. They are misleading of God's word, and they are allowing vile people to come up indecent people to come up in the house of God. And as I recall a few weeks ago, I saw that they was making a law in order to stop transgender people from being among women, men that are transgender to play sports with women, and it is a good thing to stop these people from doing this, because these people are vile. Do not let homosexuals play basketball with girls. It's bad. Don't let homosexuals in the church house with girls. Because it's bad that they are. Don't let the homosexuals stand in the pulpit with the minister. He should not even be there, because he's not going to change his ways. He's only there to corrupt and to cause havoc. If the one thing you do right, you change the way that they are doing vile things and try to bring the right, try to bring in righteousness, remove those that are bad, those that are filthy, those that are lowly, and those that are there to corrupt and cause problems among the people. You can't have bad seed growing with good seed. So you got to keep them off. But see, a lot of times they would say, I remember a lot of racist people would say back in the day they want people among white folks, where black people with bad seed. But this ain't true. Not all black people are bad. Not all white people are bad. Satan wanted to separate people because he wanted to destroy mankind. I told you this again in another video. But I'm trying to tell you and teach you to understand what's really going on. You see, there would be a war in the United States sooner or later. As long as these people continue to rule the country and think that they are all powerful, they'll cause conflict, bitter conflict. But they're not watching what's going on. Something far more worse than what they're causing is about to occur. Man can fight against himself. He let him fight himself. But he's about to be weighed down with terror and with fear. You see, there's supposed to be, as Jesus has said, earthquakes in various places, earthquakes in diverse places, earthquakes, multiple earthquakes. And there will be a time when a lot of people will be helpless. They won't have no place to stay. Even wealthy people won't have a place to stay. A lot of people just going to be displaced, not having a place to live, out in the streets roaming about trying to figure out how to survive. Rich man, when he don't have any money, he want to kill himself. He want to hang himself. He got to learn to be poor. If you want to teach him a lesson, set him out there with the poor people. Let him live in one of those shelters for a while. Let him go through what poor man go through for a while. Then he'll learn his lesson and stop doing crimes against innocent people. They gave the key to a devil when they put him in charge of the whole country, a servant of Satan. and they think that it's going to be all right. For 4 long years, they think that it's going to be all right. And now they're upset about it. I tell you no lie. Woe unto them, for they have made the wrong choice. When they have said all this gambled and complained against a woman becoming president, and they allowed this man to rule when they know that this man is what? A felon? Well, I can speak all I want to. They would say what I'm saying is rhetoric, just like he speaks rhetoric. But what I'm saying is not a rhetoric, because I speak the truth. I come from God. I'm the son of God. I don't care what anybody say about me. I'm not afraid of anyone. I never will be afraid of anyone. I'm soft spoken, but I tell the truth. I recall so many times, so many devils has tried to take my life, and so many times, so many devils have died. A friend of mine asked me one time, "What's wrong? Why is people dying around you? Man, you must have a hit out on. You must have somebody that's putting his. You must be putting his side on people." I said, "No, I don't put his side on nobody. Is that person that tried to hurt you a while back, tried to hurt you, that man ended up dead." I said, "Man, you must have had that man killed." No, I didn't have that man killed. Somebody, it wasn't just coincidence, but it was the hand of God. When somebody comes up and try to take your life, and when that person that tried to take your life ends up dead because you cry out to God and ask God to make sacrifice offering and fasting, then God sends an angel to put an end to that person, to that devil. Because God do not want to see his servant hurt. God protects you. So believe me, God does exist. And all you people that think that God don't exist, don't continue to fool yourself. You living in lies. Only sin make you not believe things. You're impure, you're unclean. Because you sin all the time. You cannot see the truth. Only thing you see is lies and you're manipulated. Don't believe all sorts of foolishness. You'll set yourself out to get caught up in a trap. Every day that you walk out, don't you know there's a trap setting out there to capture you? Every day that you get up in the morning, there's a trap out there. But you are lucky that you avoid that trap. A lot of you are lucky. But see, you walking around buck naked and see all sorts of particles of sand are leaping up on your body. And when they multiply in the great numbers, it makes it easier for you to be destroyed, easier for you to become mocked by death. And that stray bullet hit you right in the forehead and you're dead. Or somebody in the store arguing and fighting and one punch land you and break your jaw. Something going on. Or there's multiple people in a wreck. You're lucky if you survive that wreck because you're not praising God. You're not giving your sacrifice off to God. With your tears and your crying, believe in the Lord thy God with all thy heart. And stop complaining and acting stupid and listen to all these lies. See, when this man that you call chose to be your president started ripping the country apart piece by piece and causing all kinds of horrible situations to occur, you're going to need God. You're gonna need God's protection because He ain't done yet. And those women that call themselves lesbians run around hugged all up, and those young boys start attacking them, and people start kicking them out of stores and kicking them out of places, and not wanting to give them jobs and stuff. When those things start happening to them, then they'll realize they should have turned to God and stopped their foolishness. When the church don't want them in there, you homosexuals and you lesbians, when the church don't want you around, when they won't give you a job, when nobody wants you around, then you'll realize that you should have turned to God. You should have changed your ways. See, every woman can find a man, a good man, if she's looking for a good man. And every good man can find a good woman if you're looking for a good woman. He don't have to settle for a bad woman that's going to use and abuse him, that's going to neglect him and deceive him. But see, if you want somebody good, you turn to God and you hem yourself up in prayer and cry out to God and weeping constantly, day and night, and ask Him to bring you somebody decent in your life. Don't settle for a less person that's abusive and hatred. Remember, God sees all things. Don't let the devil overrule your judgment. Don't let him bring you down unto death, because that's exactly what he wants to do. He don't want you in existence. I want to give you this message tonight. It was supposed to be about something else, but I wanted to send this to you like this. Understand, God loves you. He don't want you to be miserable. He don't want you to be dismayed. Another thing, when a man loves a woman and a woman loves a man, it is a good thing when they love one another completely and wholeheartedly and not go astray from each other. God will bless them greatly. And don't listen to these fools out here fighting, trying to kill up each other. Be careful of the laws of this Trump king. Be careful of his laws. Don't allow yourself to get caught up with him, because he's leading everybody down a dark path, down a dark road, a road in which there is monsters on, and an error that's coming for it that not even he will be able to escape if he continue to mislead these people. Thank you, brothers and sisters, and God bless.